So welcome everyone. I'm Melissa Donport from Mia Cucina, and it gives me great pleasure this morning to introduce our Melbourne-based guests, Delia Baron and Ronnit Hoppe. Is that correct? The founders of Better Together Kitchen, who inspire us all in beautiful, wholesome, nourishing food for family and friends. Founded in 2018, Better Together Kitchen has over 9,000 followers, which I think is incredible on social media. Sold over 4,000 copies of their book and support an incredible program called One Box, where for every copy of their book sold, it provides one Australian family in need with a week's worth of fresh fruit, vegetables, milk and bread. I think that's amazing. I'm delighted to welcome Delia and Ronnit this morning. Welcome, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Very excited. So tell me, and I know it's been difficult. It's been a hard time for you girls. We've been trying to get this to happen for a while now. Perfect timing that 2 nights ago, Dan Andrews allowed us to have you together on the same screen this morning.
Absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah, great timing. So tell me, I know you're going to cook something for us today while we chat.
Mm-hmm.
What are you making?
We're going to make our seedy sweet potato salad, which is in our book on page 68. It's something that all of the time. It's easy, but it's a little different. There's a few little extra touches that we try and put into most of our dishes to make them interesting.
Right. Okay.
But, sure. Our business has sort of been built up around salads and vegetables. Even though we do other things, we started off doing salad workshops. So our specialty is salad. So, you know, we see salads as a meal, as a side, as any part of, breakfast, lunch or dinner. So we've got lots and lots and lots of different salads and vegetables in this book, as well as lots of other things. But this one can be served like as a substantial meal.
Right. Wonderful. Okay.
Do you want us to take you through it now, just quickly?
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So the hero of the salad is the sweet potato. What you need to do is you need to cut the sweet potato into half moons and add some olive oil and put them into the oven and bake them until they are nice and golden. And then as soon as you bake them, the idea is to get them straight into some dressing, which is, it's hard for you guys to see, but it's balsamic and mustard. So we're going to mix that up together, and then what happens when the baked potatoes are nice and hot, they soak in all of the beautiful flavour from the balsamic and mustard.
Gorgeous.
We're going to do that. I'll get that sorted, and then Ronnit's going to talk you through the rest of the salad.
And this is something that you can do in advance. If you're having people over, you can roast the potatoes the day before and then just pop them in the oven to warm them and put them through the dressing. Or you can do the whole thing and then just bring it back to room temperature and you've got your marinated potatoes. But it is important to dress them while they're warm because they absorb the dressing and they sort of get a bit sticky and caramelised, which is what gives it a really nice texture in the salad.
Great tip. I love that.
Yeah, we're full of little tips and tricks. The rest of the salad is really just a balance and contrast. So we've got the sweet potato and the sweet balsamic and sort of creaminess of the potato. So we've got some rocket, which is peppery and bitter and fresh. And we've got some coriander. Delia and I both love coriander. If you don't like coriander, you can put parsley or you can just not put anything, but we would both put a forest of coriander on anything because we both love it. And then we've got some toasted seeds for crunch. I've got some pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, poppy seeds and sesame seeds and salt. And I've just fried that off in about a teaspoon of olive oil. And it makes a difference to use the oil. Often you can dry fry, but when you're doing seeds, if you use a bit of oil, it gives it a really nutty taste and a beautiful crunch. And when we're doing something like this, we always make extra because these are so good to have in a jar, in the fridge for whenever you need like some crunch on a salad. And we are very much about making more when you can. So then you don't start from scratch every time you want to eat something healthy. So if you've got extra potatoes or extra seeds, then you can just put something together quite quickly.
So the potatoes are now coated in the beautiful seeded musk with the balsamic, and the smell from you is incredible.
I can smell that here in Sydney.
They'll pile the sweet potato up onto the salad, and then it's a matter of just adding the coriander and the seeds and the feta, and it just looks beautiful. I mean, we all eat with our eyes, so that's another thing Ronnit and I are really passionate about, is making everything look beautiful and just showcasing really what nature has given us. So a lot of our food is plant-based and it's wholesome, and it's just
beautiful.
A bit of feta here.
Look at that. That just looks so good. I love how you girls layer. I love how it's more than just one, you know. I'm salivating as you're doing that. I'm absolutely licking my lips. That's just stunning. Really lovely. Simple, easy, cheap to prepare, quick.
And quick, and that's what we're all about as well. Like, we don't want to be spending hours in the kitchen, but we want like a really good result. So
yeah,
our book is still like 100 recipes that are very easy to make.
Yeah, wonderful. Wow.
And obviously, if you want it to be vegetarian or vegan, you can leave the feta off. You can substitute it with avocado, or you can use a vegan feta. We're finding more and more that people are coming to us and saying, my daughter's vegan, or my son's girlfriend's vegan, or, you know, we've decided to be more plant-based, and people seem to be looking for alternatives to, you know, dairy or meat proteins and things. So we try with all our classes and our recipes to give alternatives and options if needed.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. What are you drizzling on?
Drizzling a little bit of olive oil on the salad.
Okay.
And then just give it a little toss, and it's all done.
Beautiful. And, you know, without even realizing it, the beautiful platter really accentuates, you know, and gives it a really lovely home style, beautifully presented.
Absolutely. This one's from Country Road, so it's available.
Oh, it's wood. It's wood?
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All of those 60s and 70s bowls coming back into fashion. Have I lost you? Are you frozen? I think you may have been frozen. We're going to see whether we can correct that. Sorrel, would you mind looking at that? I think, Ronnit, if you can hear me, you might need to go out and come back in. So we are talking this morning, for those that have just arrived, with Delia and Sorrel. And we're going to see whether we can get the girls, they're going to sign out and they're going to come back in. So Delia and Ronnit have published an incredible cookbook called Better Together. And they have a huge following in Melbourne. I know all my friends have their cookbook. It's like the Bible to have. The girls are signing back in. So there we are. Okay, you are on mute, and we're going to try and unmute yourselves. Okay, I've done it for you. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, not sure what technology.
Okay, but we did that very well, very well. So yes, beautiful. I absolutely love it. I was talking about the bowl, how the bowl has come back from the 60s, that wooden bowl, the wooden serving bowl.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Lucky my mother has hung on to all of her bowls from the 60s and the 70s.
Everything comes back around.
It does come back around. Very good. Okay, do you girls want to go and take a seat so you don't need a stand?
Oh, yeah.
And then we shall continue. So I think really what I'd like to know is, how did Better Together come together? You're plugging into power.
And it's a question we love answering, because it was kind of no accident that we decided to call our business Better Together, because we really do feel like we are, all of us, better with each other. But it came about because we started running salad workshops together from home, and they were really, really successful. At the time, we met through a kitchen garden program at Mount Scopus College. So I was running that and then left that to start another business, and Ronnit took over my position. And then I invited Ronnit to come and do a salad workshop with me, and it just went really, it became very popular very quickly. And we both decided that we were better together, and it was more fun together.
It is more fun together. How much more fun is it cooking together than cooking on your own?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah, well, I love that. I love that story.
You only have to do half the cleanup when there's two of you as well. Because the cooking part's always fun, but the cleanup, neither of us really like that.
Yeah. You know, when my kids were little, with two other girlfriends, we used to one night a week rotate and go to each other's homes. And whoever's home you were in, you'd do the cook, someone else would bring the wine, and someone else would bath all the kids. So you would bring all the kids' pajamas, someone would do the bath with all the kids in and out of the bath, and there would have been about 6, 7 kids between us. And all the kids, they wouldn't normally eat certain dishes in your own home, but in someone else's home, they all ate everything.
Yeah.
And cooking, you know, it is far better together. I love that.
Anyone who's got little kids, that's a really good way to get through the very long hours that are sometimes involved.
Absolutely. So tell me, I'm interested in your backgrounds. Where are you both? What have you both done?
So in terms of food, I would say my background goes way back to my childhood, because my parents both worked full time. So I'm the oldest of 3, and all of us were involved in making dinner from as early as I can remember. So food's always played a central part in my life, regardless of what I've done. And, you know, like I used to go to the fruit shop with my dad, and I used to help prepare things, and we were all involved in every aspect of making dinner and making our own lunches. And like when my mum would have people for dinner, she was quite happy to let me and my brother and my sister make the entire meal. And I would have been like 10 at the time. You know, so we were always encouraged to be in the kitchen. And my mum's still very happy for me to make dinner if she has friends over. But, you know, like in terms of getting back to food, it's always something that I've loved. I did law and science and worked in a whole lot of different things, but food was always my passion. And, you know, eventually I had my kids, and I ended up working in the kitchen garden, you know, where I got to put that passion to work. But I realised in doing the cooking classes with Delia that as much as I enjoy teaching the kids, I really enjoy teaching adults and people who, you know, are really there because they are interested in what's happening, not because they have to be there. Despite how incredible the kitchen garden program is at school, I'm excited to my 3rd child is going to be doing it next year, so I get to go back and volunteer, which will be nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm similar to Ronnit in that I was actually born in Zimbabwe, so I immigrated to Australia with my family when I was 5. But I've got some really early memories of being in the kitchen with my mum and my grandmother and my sister. And I really kind of developed my passion for cooking a little bit later. So it was probably in my 20s, especially when I became pregnant with my first child. I started just cooking up a storm, and I started running private cooking classes from home for friends that just grew and grew. And then my sister and I actually had a cooking school together for many years called Cooking with the Raisins, and we published 4 cookbooks together. And then as I started to have more children and became more interested in connecting them to their food source and finding out, like really kind of wanting to connect into that, I was approached to start the Mount Scopus Kitchen Garden program, and that wasn't it wasn't in existence so many years ago. So I started that and absolutely loved the whole concept of garden to table. and being in that environment. So both Ronnit and I, our favourite place to be is really in the kitchen, cooking, eating, sharing stories, connecting. So it now just feels like...
And that really was the underlying impetus of the book, that we wanted to help people be able to do that in their own homes, to connect around the table in a way that wasn't stressful, but was enjoyable. The recipe was simple enough, but nourishing and healthy and beautiful and gorgeous to look at. And you could create a meal really easily and bring people together that you love to sit around the table and have conversation.
Yeah, and that is very true. A lot of people do get very nervous when they entertain. And then I suppose it is through experience and through doing it often that you build your confidence.
Definitely. Definitely.
And tell me, where do you find your inspiration for your recipes?
Everywhere. I'm not really a list maker, so I'll go to the fruit shop and just kind of buy everything. And a lot of my recipes come from opening the fridge and going, okay, I've got this ingredient and this ingredient, what am I going to make out of it? So a lot of it just comes from that. Some of it comes from just getting ideas, whether it's from, you know, something I've seen at a restaurant or on Instagram or in a magazine, or, you know, what's the season. Both of us have got vegetable patches. You know, I'm going outside and going, oh my God, I've got a whole lot of silver beet and a whole lot of rosemary and a whole lot of dill. What am I going to make? Things like that. But really everywhere.
Yeah. And similarly, we look at Instagram and we go to restaurants and we replicate things that we love. And then we put our spin onto it always. And I mean, there's just food inspiration everywhere.
Yeah, and I think that's really important that people don't value enough, is that you should be shopping seasonally. So don't go and get a recipe and go, right, it's got pomegranates and it's got, you know, maybe some sort of berry, or it's got artichoke hearts in it, and they're not in season. So quite often it's really important to go to your fruit shop to see what's in season and then work backwards and go, right, artichokes are in season. I didn't know that. They're sitting here and they're fresh. And so then let's go and find a recipe to work around what is in season.
And that was really how we ran our cooking classes when we were running them. We ran them seasonally, and we would do 8 recipes a season based on, you know, what was coming in, what you could get, how to entertain, and we think, right, here's the protein and here's the sweet and here's something that you can do for brunch and here's something you can do every night for dinner and here's something you can do for a special occasion. But it was all based on what was in store in season at the markets, and what was fresh then.
Amazing. And I have seen on your, doing a little stalking on your Instagram, you quite often put together a menu, like a menu of, you know, all your different recipes. Is that something you do often?
People ask us to do that often. I used to meal plan a lot more when the kids were younger. And now that my kids are lucky enough that they kind of eat everything, it's kind of based on what I feel like I'll make, and they're happy to eat that. But people definitely, with busy lives and fussy eaters, have been requesting meal plans. So when we feel inspired to do that, then it's something that we do, and we might look at doing a bit more of that next year, because people love it. It takes the thinking, like that is my advice. If I have someone that's overwhelmed and, you know, feels like they just don't know what to cook, I'll say to them, spend 5 minutes on a Sunday night, ask every member in your family just to nominate a dish for the week, and then write it down in your phone, and then that takes all the thinking out of what to make, which can consume a lot of time and energy in someone. You can spend 2 hours thinking, oh, I don't know what to make, and if the thinking taken out from you, it definitely is helpful.
And also for shopping, if you know what you're going to make. I mean, like we both cook a lot, but we still call it, what are you making tonight? I don't know what to make. What are you making?
Yeah. You know, I remember as a little girl running out the door to school, and Mum used to go, what do you want for dinner on the way out? But you just had breakfast and you weren't hungry and you didn't really think about it. And I find myself doing the same thing for the last 30 years. What do you want for dinner tonight? What do you want for dinner? Like, you know, they go, Mum, like, you know, they just, no one really lives here anymore. But yeah, it's, it is hard to be inspired. I now ring my kids and go, what did you make for dinner last night? Like, you know, we all need to be inspired. And that's why following Better Together Kitchen on Facebook and Instagram, we all can be inspired by each other, which is really, really lovely.
Yeah, that is, we have 4 pillars for our business that we try and hit every single time that we do something. And the first is connection. So it's connect, inspire, nourish, and give back. So inspiration is huge. So we love that we can provide people with really easy, you know, abundant recipes that they can make, and we can inspire people to, mainly the interest of that is that people come back together around the table. So
yeah,
it's always better, food's better.
Yeah, and I tell you what else I love about you both is somewhere that I've heard or I've read you say that, especially during lockdown, is to make a bit more and make some for somebody else. And I'm a huge believer in that. To me, I won't pull out the Kenwood and turn on the oven just to make one cake. I will make double or triple, and I will always give to a neighbour, to someone who I know would appreciate it, to, you know, just to share that love is really important. And I do hear you, I've heard you say that, which is beautiful.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
I mean, for us, like, cooking is probably the ultimate act of love for someone. And, you know, it takes way less than half the effort to make double the amount because you're already doing it. So for us, it's a no-brainer, you know, whether it's soups or cakes or marinating chicken or fish or making a salad, making a dressing to make a double quantity, and you're already measuring everything out. It really takes no more time than it does to make a single. So we try and do that a lot.
And the appreciation, I'm sure you know that as well, but it's just absolutely, you know, it's one little cake or one frittata or whatever it is, and the appreciation, it's just so, you know, when people are doing it tough, there's nothing better than, you know, Ronnit and I have had a hard time or not feeling well, and there's something at the front door that's been made or baked by somebody, there's nothing better. So
it is really beautiful, and it's not only the person receiving it, but it's that beautiful feeling of someone giving. You know, it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, and that goes down to our kids as well. Like, my kids for the last few years have made presents for their teachers for the end of the year, like edible gifts, and we've done edible gifts for Christmas, whether it's like spice nuts or a granola or a muesli or a rocky road or something like that. Our almond butter stuff, like if I ever go to a dinner party, I always make our almond butter stuffed dates and take that rather than a bunch of flowers, because it's always really appreciated.
Absolutely. Man, I spent so many years making Italian pan forte, and, you know, and 4 kids, and they each had 3 or 4 teachers. It was a huge process, and it is beautiful. There is nothing more beautiful than something homemade. And then the other thing I love what you do is, like you mentioned, is giving back. Will you tell us a little bit about the One Box program that you support?
Yeah, absolutely. So give back is one of our most important pillars, and when we decided to collaborate, we both wanted to make that a meaningful kind of way. We didn't want to just give back, we wanted to work out something that felt right and in alignment with all of our core values. So we approached the One Box organisation, and they provide weekly fruit, vegetable, eggs and milk to Australian families in need. It's an incredible program. They distribute, I think this year they've done over 40,000 boxes. So we thought that what a great organisation to partner with. So every single book that we sell buys a big box of fresh, it's dignified produce as well. So none of it's seconds and none of it's, you know, it's very simple. It's some carrot and celery and apples and oranges and milk and bread and eggs, but it's really dignified. And the beautiful thing about the program is that the same family receives the box every week for a year. So they've got a whole study phase going on with different universities here in Melbourne, trying to work out the impact, because it's one thing to get a box just once, but to get that every week, you know, recurring, and it's making a huge difference to these families' lives.
Amazing.
We're so happy that we found them and that our book is all about that. So, yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Classes, every ticket to the class also buys a box.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so now I want to share with everyone some of your some of the recipes from your cookbook. And this is the cover. Just while we have it here, can you tell us where can we buy this?
So in Sydney, we don't have any stockers in Sydney. So if you go to our website, www.bettertogetherkitchen.com, click on shop, you can buy it there and we send it up, we post it up. And it's $10 postage whether you buy one or buy five. So they've got like a lot of people who buy for their mum and their sister and their girlfriend, and it's a beautiful gift coming up to the end of the year or going for a dinner or, you know, to take to somebody's house. We actually did the entire book ourselves. So we took all the photos, we styled all the food, our kitchens, my sister did all the graphics for us, and we self-published it as well. We wanted to go with an Australian company on recycled paper, you know, so that all sort of feeds into what we stand for.
Amazing. I love that. So what is the dish there in the background? It's feta on top.
So that's our Greek salad.
Okay.
It's simple, but it's the pickled onions. With most of our dishes, there's usually just one element that could be a little bit different that makes the dish more interesting. So yeah, that one's probably the pickled onions that make it hot.
I love that. Love that. Okay. Here.
So this one's from our ebook, not from our cookbook. We did a winter ebook recipe because we're writing another book, but we kind of got sidetracked this year. We've got 4 kids each and everyone had to be homeschooled. And so all the things we had planned for this year kind of got shoved to the side. So we didn't manage to write an entire book, but we did manage to do a winter ebook. So this was part of our winter ebook. It's a halloumi salad with greens, and it's got strawberries and a pomegranate dressing and harissa. So it's got that real balance of sweet and creamy and salty and spicy.
Gorgeous. And how gorgeous, how beautiful is pomegranate molasses?
Love it. We use it in a lot of recipes.
Yeah, I was only saying recently, you know, back in the 80s and the 90s, everything had balsamic vinegar on it. And now, you know, Yotam Ottolenghi and, you know, a lot of Middle Eastern influence. I've sort of pushed that balsamic vinegar to the back a bit of the cupboard. And the pomegranate molasses sits there on the shelf, you know, on the bench.
Yeah.
They're actually good together.
Yeah, this dressing has pomegranate molasses, balsamic vinegar and harissa.
Gorgeous. I love that. Okay. Your frittata?
Yeah, this is a really simple frittata that has pumpkin and sun-dried tomatoes and feta and spinach. And again, it's a weekly staple because it's a really good one for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and it's easy to make. And this is a great one to double or triple or make an extra one for somebody. And again, you know, one thing we haven't mentioned is we like to use very high quality ingredients. So if you're making a frittata, you want to use really good eggs, fresh organic eggs, because that is the main part of the dish. So yeah, just with everything that we use, I think the quality is really important. And it's great because we cook a lot of vegetarian food. Instead of spending the money on really good quality meat or chicken, which we do as well sometimes, we spend it on vegetables and good things.
Beautiful. It's also a great lunchbox addition. It's great to have that as a snack. Something
really, and good picnic food. We're all about picnic in Melbourne. Yeah. So anyway, we can have
that's only if you sit in your circles. Have you seen your circles? What is that? What is that?
Because they've drawn the circles and then the next circle is 1.5 meters apart.
I don't know, for the Sydney viewers and the international viewers joining us today, in Victoria, they have spray painted circles in gardens and parks, and that is where you are allowed to sit.
Great.
That's unbelievable. I love this photo.
So this photo was actually taken by Sunny Loves Charlie, by Roz, who makes a lot of our food and we love it, it's divine. And it's quite funny how this eventuated, because this is our tofu bao. And in the book, we've got a picture, we've got a recipe for crispy tofu, but most of the recipes have pictures and this one didn't. So we got together and we said, we want to make something on Instagram that we don't have a photo of in the book. So we decided we were going to make this crispy tofu. And we thought, well, how good would it be if we put it in bao? So we did an Instagram story where we made crispy tofu and we made bao and we did some pickled vegetables. And then it got to a stage in Melbourne and it was like, are you even in ISO if you haven't made the bao from Better Together Kitchen? So like a few people picked up on it and it became like a bit of a trend, especially in Melbourne. And it's really delicious. And now often I'll do sort of deconstructed bao dinners and I'll do crispy tofu and I'll do the bao and I'll do some schnitzel for the kids who don't want to eat tofu and I'll have all the vegetables and the sauces and everyone puts it together how they want to. And that's often how we'll do dinners or meals and people with fussy eaters, you know how difficult it is to make multiple separate meals. But now that plattering has become quite cool, you can put all the ingredients separately and then everyone can eat how they want to.
Fabulous. I love that.
This is our Zoodle Laksa, which again has become like a cult, has a cult following. I make this definitely once a week. It is so delicious because the stock takes 2 minutes to make. It's made from miso and coconut milk and just vegetable stock and curry powder and a bit of sweet chili sauce. So it takes 2 seconds to make, but it's so rich and it has such a depth of flavour to it because it's got kaffir lime leaves and, you can use any vegetable. So I don't even often have zoodles. I just put in whatever I've got in my fridge. And I've always got tofu in my fridge, chuck that in, and it's a meal that's ready in literally 10 minutes. And it's
gorgeous. My mouth is salivating. I'm actually swallowing as I'm looking at it. It's absolute and healthy and cheap and quick. That one ticks, doesn't it? All the boxes.
And it works in warm weather too.
Yeah. Okay, your protein balls.
We both have a sweet tooth, right? And we love a snack. We love a snack at 11. We love a snack at 3. We love a snack after dinner. So our freezers are filled with snacks, and we try and make the snacks healthier and wholesome. We've got 2 sections in the book. One is sort of like the healthy treat, and the other one is like, as my kids call it, is this a real treat? Has this got coconut? Has this got nuts in it? So this section's the one with the coconut and the nuts, and these are little bliss balls. They've got almonds and walnuts and dates and coconut, and we've used doTERRA mint oil, and we like to put a lot, and they're just a little beautiful pick-me-up. We've got some cacao in them too, and we always have a stash of these in the freezer.
Gorgeous. That's my absolute favourite. Love that. Okay, here's one of your meal plans.
Yeah.
Talk us through this.
It'd be great to get the audience to tell us what they want from us. So if they want more meal plans, or if they want more videos, or if they want more, salads or vegetables or side dishes or mains, we often go by what people ask us to do.
Right. Okay. I do want to tell everyone joining us this morning, there is the chat button down the bottom, so you can start asking us questions in that chat button, and we will get to them towards the end of our session. You also will be receiving a little survey at the end, just with your feedback on everything from the timing of today's talk and what you enjoyed about it, what you didn't so enjoy about it, and what you would like more of. We really want to be working this around really what you, with your feedback, which would be amazing. I love these in this image. What is this?
These are our iconic baked quinoa balls. So we're always trying to come up with really hearty vegetarian options. And this ticks all the boxes. It's got your quinoa as well as your feta and lots of grated, colourful vegetables and eggs to bind it, and lots of seeds that you roll them into. And they are so delicious, and they freeze really well, and often, yeah, we just take them out of the freezer if there's a vegetarian that doesn't want to eat what's on offer. They're really good crumbled over a salad as well. Yeah, they're delicious.
They look super versatile, like they can be added to antipasta plate, great in lunch boxes, great as a snack.
Yeah, they're good in wraps as well.
Yeah, very clever. And look, I could not put this photo in. It's gorgeous. There are the hubbies.
Yeah, they're the hubbies who eat whatever we put in front of them, God bless them, different to the offspring who are like, seriously, more salad?
I love that. Yeah.
From the very beginning, and we love cooking for them because of running belly in.
Yeah.
Which is very important. This is a salmon dish.
Yeah, so we've got a recipe in the book that's got raw salmon, and it's an udon noodle, it's a soba noodle salad with raw salmon. And like what we always say to people in our classes is we're not prescriptive, like we just want to inspire you. So if you like the dish but you don't like raw salmon, cook the salmon. If you don't like udon noodles, use soba noodles. So, or vice versa. So this is the recipe, but same but different. So it's udon noodles instead of soba noodles, and it's cooked salmon instead of raw salmon, and it's still got the same dressing that's in the book, and it's got cucumber, and it's got wasabi peas, and it's such a delicious meal that comes together in 10 minutes. It looks really impressive. It's super healthy, and it's just easy, and it's been really popular.
I think that is so clever. Very, very clever of you girls.
These are our beautiful no-bake oat.
They've got 3 ingredients in them. It's oat, sunflower seeds, and dates, and cinnamon and salt, all zhuzhed up. And then we froze them and dipped them in chocolate, and they are also another one of the things we have in the freezer.
We're always rustling around, and all of our family members, you hear little like mites like rustling in the freezer, with, you know, crinkling all the boxes to see what raw treats we've got in store for the week.
Gorgeous, beautiful, love a healthy treat. This looks spectacular.
So these are sweet potato. My sister actually made these. My sister is an amazing cook, and she's an unbelievable baker. So, you know, if I ever need anything, cakes or bake, you know, she's willing to take all the time that I'm not willing to take to make things beautiful. But these are sweet potato fries that are dipped in egg and panko and baked, and they've got a sriracha mayo dipping sauce. So
they
also
look so good. Yeah.
Really delicious.
Beautiful.
Oh, this is our shirashi don, so salad that has egg ribbon noodles and raw salmon and tuna, and there's some brown rice in there and lots of chopped up little vegetables. Again, with the delicious dressing, and it's hearty and satisfying, and one of our favourites.
This looks delicious. I absolutely love that. Tell me, with your egg, you've made like a flat omelette. You've rolled it up and then sliced it up?
Yeah, into egg ribbon. Yeah.
Gorgeous. So
recipes that are showing us, just for the audience, are going to be in our second book. So some of the images you've chosen are not in our current book. So just not
they've been from our classes and our workshops before they're on Instagram.
Right. Okay.
So they will be going to the second book next year.
Okay. And
So this one,
yeah.
so you know, we often make, like we make a lot of vegetarian stuff, but we always usually make a protein as well, and we're very good at doing super quick proteins that are yum and take about 10 minutes, and doing that, but still having most of the plate, sort of your vegetables and your plant food, with about 25 to 30% in the protein. So this is a beautiful salmon. It's a Japanese salmon, so it's got a Japanese spice called togarashi. It's got tamari or soy sauce, and it's got honey, and you bake that or grill that. And then we've got some what we call steam fried vegetables. We've got some carrots and beans with ginger and sesame, and we've got some fermented brown rice. And you know what we try and do is say, well, this all goes together. So you know, here's a really quick way to do vegetables, and here's a really quick way to do salmon, and you add some rice, and you've got a full meal, and you could add miso eggplant and make a Japanese theme, and that's how we'll often do our meal plan. So we'll say, well, you do the Japanese salmon and you do some miso eggplant and you do some miso soup, and you've got a Japanese themed dinner that is really very simple to put together and that kids can help with, and that looks impressive, feeds everyone, nourishes everyone, but isn't stressful to know.
Very clever. And that's a really important point, is that having kids in the kitchen promotes them more to eat dinner if they've been a part of that whole process. And I know it can be difficult when you're coming home from work and you're busy and, you know, they might make a mess. It's something that I do stress to all my friends, especially with young kids, is having the kids in the kitchen. I love that idea. This looks like a gorgeous salad.
Oh yeah, this is a beauty. This is our roasted beetroot and pear salad, an apple salad, and it's got radicchio and whitlock and cos and an unbelievable dressing that's got lots of ginger and red onion and very tangy and sweet and delicious with a bit of goat's cheese and walnuts. Beautiful. Again, coming in our next book.
Okay, gorgeous. And I think, you know, I mean, I've been cooking for over 50 years and that's what you want, different salad dressings and to be inspired. That is really very special. This is gorgeous.
This is our beautiful roasted almond and honey bark. And again, it's one of those raw treats that we keep in the freezer and it's dressed up with rose petals and coconuts. It looks beautiful. And it's you break it up into chunky bits. It's really good.
Yeah. And this is a really good, as we're leading into Christmas, this is a great end of year present for teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love that idea. Is this the noodle dish you were talking about?
Yeah. That's the same dish with the raw salmon and tuna and the different noodles.
Gorgeous. Looks so good.
Yeah, it's a great one for summer, beautiful for entertaining.
And this salmon on the skewers just is so pretty the way you've presented it.
Yeah, well, you know, this was like as an entertaining idea. So rather than have a whole side of salmon or have big pieces of salmon, you know, everyone can just pick up a little one like this. And, you know, again, with fussy eaters, you can do some that don't have this one's got like a wasabi cream and Japanese spices on it and crushed wasabi peas on it. And you can keep some plain if you've got fussy eaters, but it's a really nice one, particularly in spring and summer and entertaining.
Gorgeous. I think that's it. There we go.